Hi, Matt from Hidden Machine here, once again, and this is the third video in a series on the Remedy Connected Universe. Now, like I said before, this is sort of a re-release of a video that came out in late 2021, but that video was nearly 3 hours long, so I'm breaking it down like this so you can check out one piece at a time and not have to make that huge time commitment to check out more about the Remedy Connected Universe. 3 hours is a lot, I know, but it's a lot easier when you break it down into 5 to 20-minute chunks. That's my hope here, at least. Last time around, we looked at 2001's Max Payne, and today we're going to be diving into the sequel, 2003's Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. Just like we did in our last video, we're going to break down the plot, talk a bit about the gameplay and development, and then discuss some of the deeper themes of the story and how they all relate both to Max Payne 1, also the meta-narratives of Max Payne 2, and discuss how it all ties into the greater Remedy Connected Universe. And for all you Marky Mark fans out there, we're going to take a quick look at the Max Payne movie from 2008. Real good stuff. Alright, let's get into it.
I lied to myself that it was over. It wasn't over. And it would get worse before the end.
In 2003, Remedy released Max Payne 2. The full title on the box reads Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, a film noir love story. Although some copies of the game do seem to omit that last line. The love story being referred to here is the connection between Max Payne and Mona Sachs. Mona was introduced in the first Max Payne game as an assassin who is the twin sister of Lisa, the abused wife of mob boss Angelo Punchinello. Nicole Horn put out a hit on Punchinello, and to seek justice for Punchinello's treatment of her sister Lisa, Mona decided to take the contract for that hit. Later on, Mona was ordered by Horn to also kill Max Payne, but refused to do so, and was shot in the head by Acer's mercenaries. Her body slumped down into the corner of an elevator, and Max presumed that she was dead. Much like the first game, the story of Max Payne 2 was another twisting, mystery-filled journey that's told out of order. Experiencing the story in the order that the game presents it is definitely the way to go, but I'll do my best to just summarize things here. Taking place several years after the events of the first game, Max now finds himself back on the force as an NYPD detective. He's called to check out reports of a gunfight taking place at a warehouse owned by the Russian mobster Vladimir Lem. Lem was introduced in the previous game as a rival to the Punchinello family, and an ally to Max Payne. Lem has since become a very powerful crime boss, and his warehouse is being attacked by a group of hitmen called the Cleaners. Upon entering the warehouse, Max finds himself in the Cleaners' crosshairs, and as he attempts to investigate the situation, he unexpectedly runs into Mona Sachs. Before they can have a proper reunion, she quickly disappears into an elevator, just like she did the last time that Max saw her. Backup support from the NYPD arrives, and Max is able to escape the Cleaners. Back at the precinct, Max learns that Senator Sebastian Gate has been murdered, and that Mona Sachs is a prime suspect. Max's new partner, Valerie Winterson, has been assigned to the case, but Max decides not to say anything about just having seen Mona at the warehouse. Max makes contact with Vladimir Lem and learns that Lem is at war with Vinny Gognitti, a mobster whom Max interrogated and then left for dead in the first game. Like Lem, Gognitti also has climbed the ranks in the criminal underworld and is now a serious threat to Lem. Mona eventually gets in touch with Max, and he meets her at her new hideout, deep within an abandoned funhouse. She explains to Max that the Cleaners are working for the Inner Circle, the mysterious secret society that Max encountered in the previous game. The Inner Circle are trying to wipe out everyone who knows of their existence, but Mona claims to have a contact on the inside who is willing to talk and expose the plot. Max and Mona attempt to meet this contact, only to find that the Cleaners got to him first. The scene gets ugly, and police eventually arrive and arrest Mona. While incarcerated, Mona pleads with Max to let her go, suspecting that she could still be taken out by the Inner Circle, even while held behind bars. Before long, the Cleaners break into the precinct, but Mona is able to escape amidst all the chaos. She eventually reunites with Max, and their hunt for the people responsible for the attack leads them to a construction site, where they are again confronted by the Cleaners. Suspiciously, Max's partner, Valerie Winters, also shows up at the construction site and holds Mona at gunpoint. Winters claims that she is only there to arrest Mona. However, Mona believes that Winters is aligned with the Inner Circle and that she intends to kill her instead of just arresting her. In a split-second decision, Max shoots Winters, but before she dies, she shoots back at Max, leaving him hospitalized. The cleaners raid the hospital in search of Max Payne, but Max escapes and makes his way to Alfred Woden's manor to confront Woden about why the Inner Circle is hunting him. He finds Woden in a weakened state, wheelchair-bound and battling cancer. Woden tells Max that there has been a mutiny in the Inner Circle, and that a renegade faction has been taking over, murdering everyone who opposes their rule. This renegade faction turns out to be led by Vladimir Lem. Woden says that he was at one time a mentor to Lem, but that Lem has since turned on him. Lem had been using the cleaners to take over the Inner Circle, and was also planning on killing Vinnie Gognitti so that he could take over the criminal underworld of the city as well. Max races to Gognitti in an attempt to save him from Lem, but is ambushed by Lem and his men. Lem reveals to Max that it was actually Alfred Woden who sent the Valhalla Project files to the district attorney's office as an act of intimidation, and that Max's family wound up paying for it. Lem also claims that Mona had been hired by Woden to not only kill any Inner Circle members who decided to side with Lem, but also to kill Max Payne. Lem then shoots Max, leaving him to die, but Max is rescued by Mona. Although Max isn't entirely sure that he can trust Mona, they go together to Alfred Woden's manor to stop Lem from killing Woden. While at Woden's manor, Mona turns on Max and pistol whips him, but she hesitates and is unable to kill him. Suddenly, Lem appears behind Mona and fatally wounds her. Woden emerges, apologizing to Max, exclaiming that the killing has gone on long enough. He attempts to disarm Lem, but Lem shoots him to death. Max leaps up to take out Lem, but Lem triggers an explosion in the building and attempts to escape. Max follows Lem, and he is eventually able to take him out. The NYPD shows up at the manor, finding Max Payne wounded but still alive. The story ends with Max saying that he had a dream of his dead wife, but that it was all right.
I had a dream of my wife. She was dead, but it was all right.
As the credits roll, the song Late Goodbye by the band Poets of the Fall begins to play. The song is built around a poem written by Sam Lake. Sam and Marco Saristo, the lead vocalist of the band, have been friends for many years. The story goes that while driving together one night, the idea of collaboration came up. This was back in 2003, and at the time, Marco had just formed an early version of Poets of the Fall, while Sam Lake was working on Max Payne 2. A few weeks later, Marco was presented with the poem, and the track was soon born. The song is a motif throughout the game, being whistled, sung, and played on a piano by various characters.
Into the night, it's a late goodbye. Hey, hey!
NYPD.
Late Goodbye went on to be released as a successful first single from the band's debut album in 2004, and is still a fan favorite in the band's catalog. However, this wasn't the first time that the members of Poets of the Fall were involved in a Remedy game. Although they were replaced by other actors in Max Payne 2, Marco Saristo and Ali Tukiainen played the roles of Vladimir Lem and Vinnie Gognitti in the first Max Payne game. And again, I'm really doing my best with all these Finnish and Norwegian words and names in this video. This is an early instance of something that we'll see more and more of in Remedy games as we go forward. People being brought into the fold and taking on all sorts of different roles in subsequent projects. We'll have a lot more to say about Poets of the Fall, but for now, let's look a bit deeper into Max Payne 2 and its connection to the first game as we begin to understand more about this Remedy connected universe. At various points in Max Payne 1 and 2, the player will come across television sets. Among other things, you'll find episodes of several television shows, including Lords and Ladies, Address Unknown, and Captain Baseball Bat Boy. Lords and Ladies is a sort of goofy romance show set in the Victorian era. It focuses on the relationship between Lord Valentine and Lady Amelia. Captain Baseball Bat Boy is an animated children's show. The show is based on an in-game newspaper comic strip created by a cartoonist named Sammy Waters. Address Unknown clearly takes inspiration from Twin Peaks. The show is presented as a cult series from the 1990s, and the story is spread out through 7 episodes. 1 episode is in the first Max Payne game, and an additional 6 episodes are featured in Max Payne 2. While the first appearance of the show seems to be little more than just a nod to Twin Peaks, the rest of the episodes offer a sort of parallel story to the one being told throughout Max Payne 2. Address Unknown takes place in Noir, York City, and follows a man named John, who has been framed for the murder of his girlfriend by his doppelganger, a serial killer named John Mira. The series concludes with John looking into the mirror to discover that he himself had been John Mira all along. In several scenes throughout Max Payne 2, Max hallucinates his own doppelganger. The story of the game mimics the stories in the in-game television shows, and vice versa, until the details about which one came first begin to become a little bit hazy. We'll definitely see more of this as we go on, with Remedy creating in-game meta-narratives that are entertaining enough at face value, but under analysis turn out to be echoes and mirrors of the main storylines. Max Payne 2 also features 2 instances of a blaxploitation style show called Dick Justice. Dick has been framed for the murder of his wife, and in an attempt to find the real killers, Dick Justice goes on a violent murder spree.
No! Oh, no, God, Sharon, baby! No!
Stranded in the dark and violent night, Dick Justice, a lone, hard-boiled fugitive cop, framed for the murder of his wife, on a quest for vengeance through the criminal underworld in the city's heart of darkness. The rain was coming down like all the angels in heaven had decided to take a piss at the same time. In a situation like mine, you can only think in metaphors. They had killed the love of my life. They were going to pay.
The story mirrors the events of the first Max Payne game. For some, the name Dick Justice might bring to mind the show Swift Justice. The show was produced by Law & Order producer Dick Wolf and starred Max Payne's voice actor, James McCaffrey. Dick Justice was actually one of the working titles for the game Max Payne, along with Dark Justice and Max Heat. It's been said that while Max Payne was in production, Remedy paid around $20,000 to secure international copyrights to the name Max Heat, only to later decide to go with the name Max Payne instead. However, a character named Max Heat does appear as an adult film star on a TV commercial in Max Payne 2, so it wasn't a total wash. He has a female co-star named Laura Norder, and if you want to stretch it, one could assume that Laura Norder is a play on the show Law & Order, produced by Dick Wolf, who also produced Swift Justice, which starred James McCaffrey, thus bringing the whole thing full circle in a weird way. The release of Max Payne 2 marks an important point in Remedy's history, and it's also crucial to understanding the Remedy-connected universe. When the game was first announced, it was also announced that Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of Rockstar Games, had purchased all of the rights to Max Payne and everything that came with it. That means they got the story, the characters, the game engine, all of it. This was a historic deal. It was the first time that a highly successful intellectual property like this would change hands without the development studio also being sold off. The money that Remedy made on this deal would go on to sustain the studio for the next several years as they worked on their next release, 2010's Alan Wake. But before we get into that, let's make a pit stop in 2008, which saw the release of Max Payne, starring Mark Wahlberg.
There's an army of bodies under this river. Criminals reaching up to welcome me as one of their own. It was an easy mistake to make.
The film was initially optioned all the way back in 2001, before the game was even released. Remedy was still a very young company at the time, and everything I've read suggests that some folks within the company were maybe a bit overzealous and quickly signed the deal to option the movie, believing that it would ultimately be a good PR move for the game. An independent game studio optioning a Hollywood movie for a game that hadn't even been released yet certainly sounded like an interesting headline. Hollywood had been historically unkind to video game adaptations up until that point, and, well, the Max Payne movie turned out to be no exception to that rule. The movie kinda sucks. It has a 16% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 31 out of 100 over on Metacritic. Remedy had nothing to do with the creation of the film, and if you're looking to take in all of the media related to the Remedy connected universe, you can safely skip this one.